Previously on
Quit Chasing. They blew it! They freaking blew it!
Fans are singing along with Price and Stock's walk-up music. Out at home plate! What a play by Hoffman!
He got him! And the ball game and the series are over! Home run for Kyle Schwarber! Castillo counting! And the Phillies have the National League Championship!
Alrighty, Chasers, welcome back to the first episode of the 2025 season of the Quit Chasing podcast. We're a little cheeky, a little irreverent, but always unqualified. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, Alex. How you doing tonight?
Oh, you know what? I'm doing fantastic. It is so nice being back amongst all of Chase Nation in our proper attires and our proper get-ups. How about you? How are you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm glad to be back. I had a good holiday. How about you?
I had a really good holiday. It's we are recording this on January 2nd. So we just flipped the page on the calendar. So that means that since last we talked, we've had some holidays, Thanksgivings, Christmases, New Year's, and yeah, man, they've all gone great. But Danny, I couple of questions for us to first, let's talk let's get ourselves wrapped up. So postseason came down. What did you feel? Like, how long did you feel it? And when did you start to truly feel like past and over the end of the Philly season?
Not long. We talked about this briefly on one of our short-lived After Darks.
Yes.
We were prepared. At least I was prepared. I saw it coming a mile away. So I was good pretty much until, and I think I said this on one of the other shows, watching the NLCS.
Okay.
And then I started to get a little crankier. Like watching good baseball, watching two teams come up to bat with approaches at the plate, moving runners over, like watching real baseball being played just had me furious to the crap that I watched for the 4 months prior. So
Absolutely.
At the time of the elimination, I was okay with it. Hated the fact that it was against the Mets, but grew increasingly more upset while watching better at-bats and better baseball from better baseball teams.
I get that. I do. I didn't watch much of the NLCS because typically I tend to not be ready to watch baseball after the Phillies get eliminated, at least for that one round. If it gets towards elimination game, I'll probably pop it on. I was pretty good. Like I was fairly numb. It was whatever until the press conference from Dombrowski and Topper, where they said essentially, you know what, guys, like, what are you going to do, man? That's baseball. It's a great team. We're going to cut down on the chase this offseason. But, if you ask any of our players, they're going to tell you we're not going to change anything. Look at the back of the baseball card. That's all you got to do. And blah, 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 blah. And they just pulled out every bullshit thing. And every time that they were asked a question, they gave the complete wrong answer for a hungry fan base.
Yeah, it was a masterclass in what not to do with a fever fan base such as Philadelphia. An absolute masterclass.
They just threw their hands up in the air and said, man, baseball, man, it's tough.
No, 91 team, it's a good team. Yeah, so I'm with you. And even like now, I was listening to the Phillies podcast. I think it's just called the Phillies podcast. It's the one with Ruben.
Yeah. Yep.
I was listening to their New Year's show earlier today, and they were doing that whole like, well, if the core does what the core is supposed to be, and it really just comes down to getting hot at the right time, and like,
tired of that
when did that become so acceptable? Like, oh, baseball now, like, why are they playing 162 if everyone in the business is just saying, well, if it's the team that gets hot at the right time, like, yes, getting hot at the right time does play a large part into a lot of runs, but those juggernaut dynasty Astros teams weren't getting hot at the right time. They're a good team. The Dodgers weren't getting hot at the right time. They're a good team. It's the fluky teams that, come in through the wild card that get a shot in the dark because they got hot at the right time. Good teams are just good teams.
No, I agree.
When did we throw out the let's build a good world beater team to they just have to get hot at the right time? Like this
Probably when we
notion.
started signing $300 million players and letting them be the assistant GM. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, like I don't like it. Would you have told the Yankees dynasty that they were just getting hot at the right time, or was that a dynasty team? You know what I mean? Like, quit
Amen.
with this. Quit with
No, I agree. They gotta quit chasing success and capture it. Damn it.
that's
Um,
right.
that was my little like self-help guru voice. So we alluded to it a couple of times. But just to give folks an update, we did a couple of episodes of Quit Chasing After Dark after the end of the regular baseball season. You can find them wherever you found this. But we did a
After
Halloween
dark.
After Dark. We did a Halloween episode and we did a Pitch Perfect episode. They were fine. Not to toot our own horn, but they were acceptable. And if you want to check them out, they were good enough.
Yeah.
We're still finding whatever the hell that is. I think it's going to become more of a randomly. We're going to hop on and do whatever the heck we want. Maybe we'll have the Pupo brothers on and we'll all watch Waiting and talk about it. Or my mom can come on and we'll talk about some nerd. We could talk Wicked, Mom. That could be fun. But whatever we want to do that's outside of our normal realm, we're going to throw under the After Dark umbrella, and we're not going to announce it. It's just going to happen. If you want to listen to it, great. If not, skip it. We don't care. I mean, we care, but not that much. So that's where Quit Chasing After Dark is. Danny, anything to add to that announcement?
No, I think you nailed it. I think a Quit Chasing After Dark TOB edition with Mama Kruger would be awesome.
We could talk marching band to the that's another episode the Pupo brothers could come on. Dueling drum majors.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. A little.
I like it.
We got thoughts.
We got thoughts. We got thoughts.
We got thoughts.
So I think that's going to free us up. But guys, same with Quit Chasing proper. Right now is the off season. So Danny and I did want to hop on and say like, hey, welcome to 2025. Welcome to the new season. We're going to have a full episode and everything today. I don't know when the next one will be. We're not going to talk to you unless we have something to say. We're not going to talk just for the sake of talking. We want to use your time wisely. So, yeah, we're gonna come to you with an episode when there's an episode's worth of content. We have thought about doing something for a while. There just hasn't been enough, but I feel like enough stuff has passed that we can have a good episode tonight. So let's rock and roll.
Yeah, enough stuff has passed, and that is true, man. Those pods that have been doing the daily stuff, if not weekly, man, they got brutal, and you saw it within their fan base, their comment sections too. They're like, "All right, guys, like enough of this."
Well, and honestly, that's the problem with 24/7, 365 sports talk radio is you got to fill airtime, and you're either saying the same thing every time or half the stuff you're saying is crazy, and that's literally the definition of sports talk radio.
The one thing that like you saw it too, like since the start of the offseason, that like every other day, Phillies could land this $68 million, whatever. Phillies talk to trade to land this 100, but by the time November was over, the Phillies have spent $7 billion and have every all-star in the world. So, and guess how many of that happened? How much of that happened?
Nothing. None of it. Because nobody expected us to get Max Kepler. That's what we got.
Yeah.
And Jesus Luzardo, he's not converting me over anytime soon.
Yeah, why not?
First off, he's a Marlin, which we've had success with former Marlins, from Greg Dobbs to JT Realmuto. I'll give him that. Yeah, you like that Greg Dobbs throwing.
I do.
But I don't know. We've seen the Marlins a decent number of times. I've seen Jesus Luzardo pitch. I looked back at some of those. He did not blow me away. I remember those games last year, and it was like, I don't know. Yeah. His stuff. He's less than Ranger and less than Sanchez. So okay, we got someone to compete with Taiwan. That's great. A number.
Don't get me wrong. I think you're
a good number
short.
5.
I think you're selling him short.
Is he better than Christopher Sanchez?
I think he can be. Yeah, I mean, well, he's coming off that. He's coming off the what is shoulder, elbow, whatever that surgery was. But he says he's good to go, and if he's I would put him in between a Sanchez and Ranger.
Okay, wow. I mean, I'm high on Sanchez.
Yeah, I know you are. And I've never said this. I'm on the show. I don't even know if I've said this to you within our personal lives. But
Breaking news.
yeah, right. I'm no GM, but if you would have asked me like 7 years running, but my biggest advice would be get Marlins pitching. But that's me.
I mean, from
So
Josh
I'm
Beckett
happy with it.
to yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Then I will let you be happy with that. I will.
Happy with it. I think it's weird they got a rotation
Um,
guy with the
Well,
deficient
and of
lineup, but
all the
whatever.
things that we needed, of
I
all
know.
the things we needed,
Yeah.
that's what we got. We got another Hunter Pence 0 instead of Diet Hunter Pence. We now have Hunter Pence 0 in Max
Oh,
Kepler.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I like
sugar
that.
free. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what his fan. If he looks like a wounded gazelle, then yes, the Hunter Pence thing stays alive. But yeah, man. So somehow that all came from the agenda header Quit Chasing After Dark update.
It
Danny,
did.
you asked the question.
I
We're
did.
10 minutes in. Let's talk
Mhm.
holidays, man.
Yeah. Happy
How was your
holidays.
holiday? Happy holidays. Happy Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa. Like what'd you do, man? So let's go from Thanksgiving on. What's your traditions? What do you want to say? I
Well,
don't know.
you know me, I'm a traditionalist, right?
You are. You are.
So it's Merry Christmas, it's not Happy Holidays.
Yep. A lot of people are saying Merry Christmas more and more nowadays. Like, and I worked in retail in like the early 2000s. So that really got drilled out of me. And it's still a little bit cringe when I hear it. It's like, oh God, no, wait. But okay, I guess
I
society is
was being
accepting it now. I don't know.
100% facetious.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, man. You sometimes have very passionate takes that I'm not expecting. And I know how passionate you are about the holidays. So I didn't know.
Yes, it's the holiday season for everyone.
That's so true. It is. Even
So,
those who celebrate Festivus for the rest of us.
yes, it's the holiday season for everyone. Get over it. That's my take on it. But I am a traditionalist when it comes to that kind of stuff, though. Even though I did have to push everything up a week this year because of the way the holidays fell, that having that week less in between Thanksgiving and December kind of
Yeah,
messed everything up. And the fact that the holidays were midweek kind of like people worked a little more than I would have liked. It's weird.
I
It
see
was
that.
a weird one, but a good one. I always have a good. Did you ever see 8-Bit Christmas
I've not. I
with
need
Doogie
to. I've
Howser,
heard good things. Yeah,
whatever his name
yeah.
is?
Will Wheaton? No, I'm kidding. It's Neil Patrick Harris.
That's right. That's the guy. There's a scene in it where he says, like, "Oh, are you gonna have a good Christmas?" And he just looks at his daughter and says, "I always have a good Christmas." That's how I feel. I'm one of those guys. So no matter where it falls in the week, no matter how shafted we get on a week between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I always have a good one. But mine starts really for me on the solstice. I start my holiday season on the solstice, and then I don't do anything until after the Epiphany.
So, would you like to define those two words for the folks listening that may not be familiar when the solstice or the Epiphany take place?
Well, the winter solstice, it's the first day of winter. It's the shortest day of the year.
Fun
Typically,
fact.
yeah, between the 20th and the 21st. The times change depending on what's going on. Uh, but it's usually in the early morning hours, right? Or
I
is it
believe so.
like
Yes.
in the afternoon? I don't
I
know.
always thought it was like 3 a.m., like 2, 3
Uh,
a.m. ish. Or is
I
that
think
daylight savings? I don't know.
who knows, right?
That is daylight savings too, but
The Epiphany is, or some people known as Old Christmas or Little Christmas. It is when you celebrate the arrival of the wise men.
okay. And is that 6 days after Christmas or?
It's the 12th day of Christmas.
Oh, it's on the 12th day.
Yes,
Whoa. Wow.
it's the
Okay.
12th day of Christmas.
Okay. Man, I guess they were working with like 1 horsepower.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that.
Star GPS. Yeah, so that's how I do it. I have something then. I go into the woods on the solstice, come out the next day. Don't have anything of the 22nd. That's more of a prepare day. And then from the 23rd to the new year, I am something and busy.
I like, you know what? You were sending a lot of positive outlooky messages and just you were a happy Danny in those days. And I liked hearing that. I liked seeing that. That was good energy.
Well, I love the holidays.
How could you not? It's the most magical time of the year. I've had the Christmas decorations up since November 1st, and I don't care. I do not mind one bit. Christmas is my favorite time of year. If I'm going to enjoy that stuff, I'm going to enjoy it for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've got no problem with when you put them up. Hey, the question is, are they still up?
So here's the thing, Daniel. Because, as you alluded to, the holidays fell in the middle of the week.
That's true.
And I've risen to a point and a status in my life where I have a little bit of decent control over my work schedule. I actually took vacation all of Christmas week and all of New Year's week. All right. I didn't go on a vacation this past summer. So did a nice little staycation to recharge the batteries here at home. And it was New Year's Eve. And Kara and I were like, all right, man, like there's something with the energy in the house. Like it's feeling stale. It's feeling like plastic. Like we got to do something. There's something off. And she does that thing that she does, man, where she just looks at me and she's like, let's take down the Christmas decorations. And every time she does it, at first I'm like, no, that's crazy. We're not going to do that. No. And then like I do a chore or two and I'm like, actually, you know what? We should probably take down those Christmas decorations, huh? And then we do it. And then we spend the day doing this project I did not allot for whatsoever during my mental planning out of my schedule of my days off. But we took the stuff down. We have it all organized perfectly. We usually take it down like piecemeal, like bits at a time. And I was like, no, I want all the stuff in the correct totes all together so that next year when we're taking it out, it all makes sense again. So we did that. I apologize for nothing. The level of efficiency in my attic right now over these decorations is a level I have strived for my entire adult life. I feel on top of the world with this.
Well, I'm glad you got your Christmas decorations up in November, and I'm glad that they were down by the 8th day of Christmas.
Those last 4 days, man, there aren't any more birds. I'm here for the birds.
Is it a bird day? No. Well, screw it. Christmas is over.
Right. Just give me the 5 golden rings, I guess. So yeah, but no, I had a great Christmas. You know, very.
You see my issue with that, though, right? You do.
What? That's still the Christmas season. Yet I took it down.
Yes, and they were up blatantly early, but whatever.
Blatantly
joy is joy.
Early.
Yeah.
Yeah, joy is joy. Damn it, joy to the world and all that jazz.
Joy. Yes.
But anywho, so no, I had a great holiday season, traditional Hallmark split custody, life, 1,000 houses each time, but we did it. We had a great time, got to see family, got to see friends, had a great evening with the Poopo, Mr. Matthew, and his family. So that was great. No, man, holidays were great. We had a great time. Did you get to come up to Harrisburg at all?
Yeah, so the way I do it is I was back there for Christmas Eve. I had dinner and mass with my parents, and then I was back in Philly by noon on Christmas Day.
That's right. You do have that crazy but you know what? If it works for you, it works for you, and that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. I had Kim's got a work schedule, so she doesn't really come with me on Christmas Eve unless it falls like on a weekend or something like that. And then I get back for Christmas dinner with her. I do the thing. This year we had some friends over for Christmas dinner that, same thing, because where it fell in the week, couldn't get to their families out in Western PA or whatever. So we had them over. I was calling it Danny's Christmas house for the transient and orphaned. But that's what you do. That's what the holidays are.
I love that. Our big Christmas tradition is Christmas Eve. Always go to my sister Linda's house out in Lebanon. But it's so much fun, dude. We do our, sibling white elephant if that's what we're doing, but always a good time. Her husband, Kyle, phenomenal cook. He smokes quite the rack of meat, or really just, he can smoke anything. Kyle is a master smoker for sure. That's always a good time. The kids have fun with their cousins.
Duck, ribs,
goose, meatballs, mac and cheese.
Meatballs.
Oh my God.
What else does he smoke?
you know.
No,
it was great. You took the low-hanging fruit, and that's okay.
I did. Yeah, I haven't made a dong joke in quite since last year.
Oh no, we did not. The people at FanDuel suggested that the odds were heavily in favor that I would make the first since last year joke on this episode. So really happy that you crashed the books there.
Yeah, I did it, but if I did see those odds, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's totally Alex.
Oh,
Alex
100%
makes the first bad joke. Yeah, no, I did it. I'm sorry.
I love it.
That's
I love it. Crash the boats,
someone
baby.
someone got paid.
And someone lost college tuition. All right, so we got through the holidays, Danny, and then we got to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. What do you do? So we were talking about this a little bit in the car. What's your take on New Year's and New Year's Eve and all that jazz?
Yeah, so we did talk off air about this briefly, but I'll regurgitate the same crap, right? The people haven't heard it.
They have not.
They haven't heard it. I used to rebel against New Year's Eve. I never thought it was a big while out party kind of holiday. I always thought it was a more pensive, retroflective holiday. So I always kind of like inside fought that. But a handful of years ago, I was watching Fred Claus, great little Christmas movie. It's turned into one of my favorite. You know, if you like Vince Vaughn playing Vince Vaughn, like he plays most movies. Vince Vaughn plays a hell of Vince Vaughn in that movie. It's
At
great.
least his successful ones.
Paul Giamatti does a wonderful Santa Claus. But they just at the end of it, they just have it's kind of an extension of Christmas. It does fall in the 12 days of Christmas. So I keep it smaller, but some of the folkloric stuff, yeah, I have all the trash out, make sure there isn't any dirty laundry or laundry sitting in the dryer, like washer and dryers are empty, trash is empty. I do the open the doors at midnight thing. Yeah.
Love
I do
it.
the pork and sauerkraut on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, so yeah, there's still as much as I do all the folklore stuff around Christmas, it's part of New Year's as well.
I'm a big fan of that. I have always seen New Year's as a completely arbitrary like demarcation point, but that's all. A New Year, any day you pick it, is going to be an arbitrary demarcation point. So it may as well be
Yeah.
January 1st. I have no issues with that whatsoever, because it is right after the winter solstice. Like it all tracks, it all adds up. I have no problem with that. So I always like to use this opportunity, or at least I have since I grew up into a functional adult, to like figure out how am I going to better myself? What am I going to do better than I did last year? Like last year, I said to myself, okay, I want to be on one of Ben Beck's podcasts, and then like a podcast, like a podcast. And I went on Ben Beck podcast, and then created my damned own with you, and that was so much better. So like batting 1,000 over the last year. So this year I want to slim back down to my playing weight.
Nice.
And then also I have a couple of professional goals that if I said them, they wouldn't make sense. And if I explained them, we would lose our listenership. So just, yeah, I got some things I'm working on at work that I'd like to do well. So how about you? Do you have any personal or professional goals for 25?
I don't ever really think of them as the new year. Like, we celebrate the calendar turning over, and a lot of people do use it as the catalyst for self change or self growth, which is great. And I don't want to sit here on my pious throne, but I kind of make mental notes of those as the year goes on. So, like at the big like professed New Year's resolution things, I don't know. I don't do it.
I can dig that. I can respect that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like resolutions throughout the year. Like this past year, I didn't resolve to quit smoking, but come the end of May, I stopped smoking the e-cig, and like I haven't had a batch of nicotine ever since the end of May. And that wasn't pre-planned. That's just okay, I'm done. I'm out. And I don't know. That's a good way, I think. Like I like to sneak self-improvement up on myself, like when I least expect it. Oh shit, I'm gonna do 10 push-ups. What? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm a moody guy and a flippant guy.
No.
Yeah, I am. I am.
That's your sweetheart, though.
I am though.
You're both.
I sure. Thanks.
You're Dr. Cox.
No. Well, if you got to be a doctor or something.
Gotta narrow your urethra.
But yeah, no, I'm a moody guy. I'm a flippant guy. I'm kind of an understated guy as well. So like the whole like this is my resolution. But if I get in a mood, if I get in a fix, if there's something that flips in my brain that says, hey, you're not happy with this, you have to make a change. That can come, January 1st, or it can come July 13th. It doesn't matter to me.
I like it. There you go, folks. You heard it here at the Quit Chasing podcast. You don't need to make a New Year's resolution. You can just make a resolution, and you can do that all year long.
Absolutely, I don't.
Of course not.
Why put self-guilt into your holidays? There's already enough of it.
100%. You know, it's so funny you said that because this year, Kara and I didn't really like buy each other gifts and stuff. Like, we both found some things that we wanted. And
Mhm.
because it's a joint bank account, we're like, all right, we're going to get this thing. Like, okay, cool. I'm going to wrap and put, okay, fine. And it was the most relaxing and just enjoyable Christmas without that pressure of what am I going to get from my partner? And economically, will it be quantifiably the same slash emotionally, will it be quantifiably the same? It was just so stress free and it was nice. I don't want to do that all the time. Like, I do want to get like cute gifts and crap like that. But every now and then I do like just a nice hassle free gift exchange.
All right, so I'm gonna pose this question to you because I posed it to my family. I posed it to Kim.
Ooh,
There's kind of a mixed opinions on this. So my brother, love the guy. He's a little difficult in the fact
he's an
that
interesting cat. I've met him once and it was a very lasting impression.
he is. He's a great guy, super nice
Yes.
guy. But thinks a little bit differently than I do. I mean, we're different people. Of course, it's going to happen, right? All that
Yes.
kind of stuff. But he gets stressed out about gift giving and stuff like that. And he's been posing for the longest time, like, hey, let's just do the name thing because I'm this holiday isn't enjoyable to me because of that reason. I mean, it's enjoyable, but that's a con of it. Where my retort to him was like, all right, Dave, here's the deal. Like, we're still going to get something for the kids because they're the kids, like the nieces and nephews, right? We're going to get something for our parents because they're our parents. So, really, you're talking about me, you, and my
Sibling gifts.
sister, right? Me, you, and my sister. So now you're just down to getting one less person something.
Is it 3 or is it 6? Do you guys go joint gifts for couples or does each person get a separate gift? Because that's a lot of that's a big difference. Or does it depend on the couple?
No, so
Okay, let's
I
get
I
into it.
get a gift. So this is gonna make me sound ungrateful, but I've
Awesome.
always thought about this. So take my sister's family, for instance. I get a gift from my sister and her family.
Okay, so 1 gift for the entire family?
Yeah, which is fine. Like
Okay,
it's not about that anyways,
I
right?
get that. I'm just painting a picture, like a karaoke
That
machine,
being
you know?
said,
Okay.
I get something for my niece, my nephew, my brother-in-law, and my sister. So
Oh, so you
the
double up? You go
yeah,
family gift as
yes.
well as individual gift.
No, I don't do a family gift. I just give everyone in the family something individually. No, this is season of giving, so I've got no problem doing it. But if you were to keep score, right?
I mean, you give to more people than anyone else since you don't have kids. That's just the
Ah,
way it works.
yeah, and
I am a father of 2. I feel terrible for my friends or like family that only have 1 kid that have to get more gifts for mine than I do for theirs. I always felt bad about that.
it's not about the gifts, but you do notice things like that. But I've got no problem with that. Also, I love doing it. I love the holidays. But going back to my brother's thing, so I posed to him. I said, Dave, you just get stressed out about giving gifts. It's not the amount or to who or what to get them. Because, like, here's the deal, gifts are weird. There are sometimes that I have given people in my family phoned in gifts because it's the holidays and you have to give them something. And then there's other years where I give them something special or sentimental or like what it all depends on the year. If something hits me for them for that year, I will get it for them. If it doesn't, I'm getting them something that I think they'd like. There might not be 100% thought into it, but I'm not.
Kinda like that time your sister got you the ticket, like, printed out and done real nice for the
I
Phillies
did
World
that for
Series game?
her, but yes,
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, the
yes,
other way
yeah,
around.
yeah. Well, she didn't get nearly anything like that this year because but that's the way it works sometimes. So I told my brother, I was like, so you doing this pick name thing, I think isn't going to eliminate any of your stress because the stress isn't that you have to get it for these people, it's what to get them. So now you're just going to be stressing on the I have to get this guy their only gift. I think that's going to add more stress to it,
Nope.
right? You don't
No.
think okay, so
No way.
you are with the
So
majority of people.
You don't say. So here's my thought
No.
process behind that answer. Okay, is
I
all right,
think that
so
way though. That's how I would think.
so let's say that we're talking 6 people that your brother's going to have to stress over. Okay, now you've eliminated that down to one person.
Mhm.
So if each person represents 15 merits of stress, okay, then he just went from like 115 down to 50. I'm not doing math correctly right now, but I'm just saying like the amount of stress is still going to exist for one, but not for 5 others. So yeah, no, this is definitely much less stressful.
All right.
But are you still just going to do whatever the hell you want?
Well, yes, I was.
Okay.
Because I
Right.
couldn't
And I get
not
that.
get some. I can't not get somebody something.
I get that. I mean,
It's
there's
Christmas.
gotta be. So here's one thing, like, aren't there? All right, it's 2024. Okay, aren't there like just
Was.
personal registry? Oh shit! So it's 2025. Okay,
Yeah, that's
isn't
right.
there a thing on Amazon that like we as a person can go on, put a bunch of crap on a thing, and then if someone's like, "Hey, what do I get you for your here? Look at this Amazon list. It'll tell you if someone's already purchased it or not. Here you go. Like essentially a registry for just humans.
Are
Like,
you asking if Amazon has lists?
I'm sure they have lists, but like
They
an
do.
easy,
And
like
you can share
essentially,
it. You can make
right.
private ones and shareable ones, and it
So
does
why
say if
not
it's
just
been
have people
purchased or
do
not.
that?
Most people do.
I think we should popularize that. Just it
I
makes life a whole lot easier.
I don't think we have to. I think people do.
All right. Well, then you're welcome, world. I thought up $1 billion idea a couple years late. So now I don't have $1 billion. You're welcome.
Jeff
All right,
Bezos
Danny.
already thought of years ago.
I like it. We're half an hour into this thing. We said we don't know how long it's going to go or not go, and we haven't really talked a lot of Phils. We did up at the top, but you want to run through? I mean, we're technically a Phillies podcast. Do you want to talk a little bit of Phils before we get into the ultra fun stuff?
Yeah, let's get into some of it.
All right, folks, I want to point out this is season 2 of the Quit Chasing podcast. And unlike Dave Dombrowski, we are not happy to just run it back same as before. So we're going to take some things, we're going to learn some things. We're going to learn how to play small ball as we go along and just stop trying to hit home runs all the time. So it's probably not going to be a great year for the Phils relative to what we've been doing as they've been doing as a team. So I'm going to get rid of the pretense and just start talking about this team the way I actually feel about this team. Snarky, defeated, but I still love them like there's no tomorrow. So it is what it is. It's a vicious relationship, as all Philly sports fandom is, but that's why we're here, because we love it. So let's talk free agency. Juan Soto is
Hold on. I want to piggyback off your point. Yeah, man. So I'm with you, Alex. And there's one thing that I have noticed in this offseason, the little bit of stuff that I have checked into and listened to. For one, Jim Salisbury pronounces it Dave Dombrowski, which I think is very interesting. Yeah, right. And then the other thing is there seems to be a huge disconnect between the fan base, the organization, and the pundits. For instance, I was noticing they spoke about it on the Phillies podcast yesterday or this morning, how the one guy, the other guy that's not Salisbury or Amaro Jr.
All right, we'll call him third.
Yeah, the other guy. You sarcastically learned how to play the harp. Anyways.
Hold on, what is that from?
The other guys.
Oh my God, yes, that is fantastic. Yes.
It's a great movie. They're Mike and the gang. So where he was like, yeah, my neighbor came up to me like frustrated that they're doing the run it back thing, and I had to tell him it was a 90-win team. So like, let's be the voice for that frustrated guy, huh? We're not going to be the pundits that say, hold on, it's a 90-win team if the core does what they have to do. We're going to be like, no, run it back didn't work last year. Run it back plus Kepler, plus or minus Kepler, isn't going to do it this year. All right.
You know what? No, hold on. I'm going to piggyback now off of your piggyback. So we're going to do dog, cat, mouse. All right. So
it's like 8 friends.
Yes. So here's the thing, folks, and I agree with you, Danny. And we were approached earlier this year about like, hey, do we want to go after access to exclusive blah blah blahs that media credentials get for the Phillies, yada yada. And it was something that we
dogged them.
Well, we big dog them like a Chihuahua does in that, like, no, I don't want any additional access, insight, or whatever to the Philadelphia Phillies that I wouldn't have if I was just a dude on my couch scrolling or whatever. Like, I don't want to be overly informed because I don't want my level of access or whatever to be stripped if I say something negatively, or I want to be honest, I want to be vocal, and I want to not care what feathers it ruffles, because A, it's not going to be offensive, and B, I'm going to challenge the organization when I feel like they're not challenging themselves. So I don't care about access. I don't want access. I can guarantee it would find a way to influence how I approach the show. So no, man, like, let's be the voice of the dude coming outside and saying, what the heck's going on? Because that's who we are, and that's who's listening to us.
Just because we know what happened behind the scenes doesn't mean the listeners do. So, listeners, we big dogged them.
We big dogged them. Wait, you saying I'm happy with telling that story, frankly.
I'm fine with it too, but also we big dogged them.
We big dogged them.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, free agency, Danny. Juan Soto found his way over to the Mets. Did you ever think the Phils were going to land him or make a shot at him? Did you think they should?
I thought they were going to have an interview and play the game. I didn't think they were going to land him. I didn't think they should. He's not the answer.
He's not the answer. He's not that guy. But Mets, we'll see. The kind of in the same vein, the Dodgers just keep dodgering, signing really good players to really good contracts and all that crap. Here's the thing, and here's what I don't love about the house of cards that they're doing. I have watched so many sports. I have seen so many teams try to buy an indestructible team, and it, for whatever reason, it never works. It never ever works. And like, the Golden State Warriors built themselves and then bought just a couple of pieces. Like, yeah, they added Kevin Durant, and that made them one of arguably the best teams of all time, but they are always flawed, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't scare me as much as a plucky underdog would.
Well, I mean, look at the 23 Mets, right? Like they went out in 2022, bought the team. The chemistry wasn't there. They went from a 101 win team to a 75 win team in 2023. So it doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't. And you know what? If that's, we'll see what happens. Maybe that's just my way of coming to grips with the fact that we haven't been aggressive at all. But if so,
well, Max Kepler, bro.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited to watch that thing happen. By the way, where is he playing in the field? I heard.
So he's going to be probably the everyday left fielder, moving Marsh to center, and that's my issue. Is he arguably, even with the down year, probably going to be a better bat than Rojas? Absolutely. Marsh is a good left fielder. He's serviceable in center.
I mean, maybe if he's playing center more often, he will develop a better feel for it. He's had good games in center. I mean,
do you really need a 9-hitter serviceable center fielder, and then say you're a World Series what's the word? The A word, spelunking team.
Aspiration.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, World Series aspirations. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I don't know. At that point, you have to choose. All right, what do we want in center field / the 9-hole? Do we want a bat or a glove today? And
we want an Asperlunker.
Yeah, an Asperlunker. All right. Well, if you're not going to build through free agency, there's always trades. And Danny, it seems no one wants our guys.
No.
Nobody.
It became a meme in the baseball world.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And it's been tough to be a butt of the joke, but like, seriously, no one wants Alec Boehm, no one wants Marsh, no one wants Casty. Like, everyone just looking at us like, we're good. We're fine. Thanks.
I'm fine with no one wanting Casty. I agree with, some of the other boys in our world that he has more value with us than away from us. Like, whatever we got in return for a Casty isn't going to be worth what he can give us.
Amen to that. We're not going to get decent value back for him compared to what he will bring to us. And we've pretty much already kind of eaten the cost. So it is what it is. But yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens, man. Hey, they always say if at first you don't succeed, run it back 3 more times the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus or
So-
minus the Kepler. Yeah, I mean,
Really gonna go
Cassie
off
to
on
me
that.
was never the problem. You can have a guy like Cassie in the lineup. You can't have a lineup
Absolutely,
of
yes.
Cassies. It's the
No.
problems to me are like the Turners, the Marshes, the Rojas's, the Stotts who couldn't, even though his walks doubled, just couldn't get around on a fastball.
I-
That kind
I
of stuff.
never
Just the approach. The approach.
Which thankfully we have the same exact hitting coach this year, so that should be fixed.
They're gonna have harder talks with them in the clubhouse about using the full field this year. They said they're gonna have harder talks.
Oh my god, it's like listening to an episode of Seventh Heaven. Ugh.
What is that harder talk? Is it Topper coming out of his office like Lou Brown? All right, boys, need you to use all of the field today. Good talk. And then he goes back into his office. Is that the harder talk?
Is it Dave Dombrowski coming down like Billy Bean and taking a
Dombrowski.
bat and throwing it against throwing it against the stereo and saying that is what losing sounds like? I don't know. There's 2 great movie references there, Danny. Very nice.
I know.
Way to set that one off.
All
right.
We do what we do.
Now let's talk about our boys. Did I see something recently where Harper or Scott Boras at least was talking extension again? Is that a thing? Is that happening? Or no?
I saw it. No, I did. I saw it too. If you saw it because of me, or if
Maybe.
we both saw it, it was brief. Dombrowski did say that they will find a way to get it done when it is time. Whatever that means. The fact that this is 2 years in a row now, it's not as loud as it was last season, but like, read the room, bro.
But at the same time, is this just what you buy when you buy Scott Boras? Like, is this just what he does? Which
it's not
think
working out for Pete Alonso right now, is it?
I'll tell you what, dude, it didn't work out for Jordan Montgomery. Didn't really work out for Blake Snell. Like it hasn't been great for a lot of people. So he might want to, call up Maverick Carter and say what you guys got. Yeah. So that's the Harper extension. Did you ever watch
Carter?
the Netflix?
That's Jay-Z.
Shoot, I don't know. I thought that was LeBron's like agent. Maybe that is Jay-Z. I thought it was LeBron. I don't know.
Maverick, Jay-Z, Carter.
Sean Carter.
He's implemented. Get your damn hands up.
Outstanding. Effortlessly moving on. Did you ever watch that Netflix documentary?
I did not. How about you?
Absolutely not. I think they released like an extended version, but I think it was just more the captain. I was like, okay, like I'm still good on all that.
Yeah,
if we had won a championship at some point, I could look back on any of this nostalgically and fondly, but right now I can't do that.
Or came out at the All-Star break or something. It was just piss poor timing.
It was real. No, it was a week after we got eliminated.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like if it would have come like the All-Star break or something where Yeah.
Right. Don't do it. And that's the other thing. Like, stop acting like we're anointed. Like, that's not gonna make they did it in October for a reason. Okay. They thought the Philly fervor would be at an all-time high as opposed to the all-time low it ended up being at when it truly was released. But I digress. I did not watch it either. So that brings me to my last proper Phillies question. Daniel San, are you ready?
Sure.
Will you predict 2025's scapegoat for why we fell short? What's going to be the scapegoat, man? When we end up, I don't know, 420 at the All-Star break, what's the scapegoat going to be?
So I think we've got an aging team. There was a little bit of the injury bug last year. I think there's going to be a little bit more of the injury bug again. I think that is what they're going to hang their hat on. Hey, this guy was down for this amount of time. We could have done this, could have done that. If we could have got ahead a little more in July, but this guy was out for whatever. I think that we're going to hear a lot of that.
That's fantastic. I think that's really good. I think my biggest question is if we whiff at the trade deadline again, I feel like it has to be Dombrowski's head on the pike. And especially we flame out. It's got to be Dombrowski. If we whiff at the trade, but then again, everyone knows what we want, so they can just hold us for ransom for whatever they want. Like
Yeah,
everyone knows we're buyers, so it's frustrating.
that's part of the problem too. I've been reading that people know that Middleton made that spend stupid money remark a handful of years
And
ago.
they're gonna
People
make
know
us.
that, right? People know that Dombrowski goes out to sign the big guy, so they ask for they ask a lot of the fills and deals. That's why some of them don't get done because of who they're working with. I think it is a problem. I I think that there's people in the organization that are holding them back, that are great minds that people love. I think Dave is one of them. I think Homeboy is the other one.
Topper, K Long,
Yes, thank you. Kevin Long is the other one.
gotcha.
Yeah, like these people that are respected in the field, but may have let the game pass them a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. It's funny. As I was talking, I talked myself out of and I'm on board with you that injuries are going to continue.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing that we won the division and won as many games as we did based on how many of our guys were out, but
yeah.
none of them hit that 30, 60, 90, and we didn't have the wrong ones out at the same time. I think you're right. I think like maybe even by All-Star break, it's gonna be one of those like, ugh, this just ain't let's get everybody healthy. Let's get to the end of the year. Let's get the young guys some experience and see what happens next fall. I don't know. But
I
it
mean,
does feel
yeah.
like we played a lot of baseball on a lot of creaky bodies over the last 3 years, and that check is gonna come due soon.
Oh, Romuto is held
Falling
together
apart
with
in front of
bubble
us.
gum at this point.
Yep.
Harper is gonna have some stint on the
He will
IL,
fall into a camera well. It is
or
guaranteed.
just even you'll see that
Something.
elbow brace on him again, and you'll hear, "Oh, he's been playing through something since July," like that. I'd
Yep.
love to have a Harper season where he's not playing through something, but I think those days are over. Um, yeah, all of that stuff,
I
all
think
of that.
so. So yeah, it'll be fun to see kind of where things land and see what happens. But woo, Phillies
It,
2025. Let's
yeah,
do it.
I'm with you. That's how I feel about it. I mean, yeah.
You know what though, Danny? That's gonna take us into our favorite part of our shows, which is our bits. We love our bits. I've missed our bits. And that's why I have
I
every
checked my
single one of
note.
our bits. I have every single one of our bits on the agenda because I want to do all of them. I'm gonna start with the top one. Let's be honest, Philadelphia Phillies. I feel like we just answered this. Contenders or cooked?
So like, right, I think that we're somewhere in between. Like, I'm gonna hate
Could
myself
get
for saying
lucky.
this. No, if the core does what they're supposed to do, then they can be contenders. I don't want to say they're completely cooked yet, but there are players that I think could get. I think there are people on this team who are cooked. I don't think the team in itself is completely. I don't
I
know
love
though.
that
I mean, the end of the half after the break last year, they seemed good, but
for sure. For sure. Yeah, we had and Muno Sosa who was playing outside of his mind and he was going to
that
regress to
helped.
so yeah, it is what it is. I think um yeah, we're cooked. We're cooked for this year. There's no doubt in my mind. And I'm not saying that to like be a shock jock or anything. I don't see what's gonna do it because we had Magic in 22, we had fans and city love in 23, and we had a dominant baseball team that did their thing in 24, and all three of them came up short. So what are we missing? What what don't we have this time? Or what do we have this time that we didn't have any of the other times? And for that reason alone, like I watched us fade into obscurity after 2011. I'm not saying it's going to be that bad this time, but like I've seen it happen. It can happen again. So I'm going to go with at least for this year and probably because of injuries, cooked.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a down year too. Um, I don't think the team got any better. I think they got older. I think they're going to come in with the same mindset and attitude. That they're going to have those harder conversations of using the whole field, and I don't think that conversation is going to get heard.
Tell me they're not just going to press and play scared the first 3 months of the season. Tell me they're not going to come out.
I mean,
Like,
they're
I've
always gonna
seen that
press.
version of Philly where they come out and press and look scared and look like they're all trying to manufacture something. Last year, the first month they did that, and then ironically Trey went down and Mundo came in and everyone just started playing baseball again and they went on a tear. But like, I see them coming in scared of Philly for them not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. We will see, but I think yeah. So I hate doing that. Like, oh, if it would have went 2 more inches to the right, it would have been good. Type. If we
But
could have done this, but 10 more games of that season last year, and the Phils are probably sitting at third. The Mets were chasing the Braves.
yeah,
The injured Braves were chasing. You get 10 more games of that season, and the Mets are sitting in third, maybe missing out on a wild card. I'm projecting them to be the third best team in the NL East.
yeah, I think that's fair. So you're saying Braves, then Mets, then us?
Yeah, probably.
All right. I guess it all depends on health, Like, is
Yeah,
Freed
I
gonna
mean,
be, or not Freed? Strider coming back normal timing, yada yada yada.
right, that kind of stuff. The Mets are going to be scary lineup, but their rotation. But that's we said that in the postseason too, and
See how that
look what
worked out.
happened.
Sean
Yeah,
Manaea.
exactly. So what do we know?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking of not knowing nothing, Danny, tell me, were we doing media stables next or amped up next? Because I know that one led into the other / blended into
Oh, I
the other with
changed
you.
all that. So whatever.
So it doesn't matter.
No.
All right. Then I'm gonna start amped up. This week on Amped Up, I am going with nostalgic video gaming. I have thought and been under the impression for like the last 3 years that the entirety of the PlayStation Network did not work anymore on the PlayStation 3. And I didn't have internet for a short while, like before the pandemic, long story, in the house. So it didn't really bother me. And I just never did it. And then on a lark the other day, I just Googled, does the PlayStation 3 network still work? And they're like, yeah, man, you can totally sign in. So that's exactly what Google said. Google's like, yeah, man, you can totally sign in. So I did, and it has unlocked so much of my previous life. So I have like 13 years of saved PS2 game player data for like all my Call of Duties, Lego Rock Band, NCAA, Madden, like all these different games. I've just been having so much fun playing old teams and rocking out on the drums on Rock Band to some Incubus Dig, Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters and such. It's been fun. So I am amped up about nostalgic video gaming. Folks, if you have a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, regular Nintendo, Atari, Dreamcast, Game Gear, Game Boy, PlayStation 1, 2, or 3, fire those bad boys up. Throw something in. Just play an old school game. If you got GoldenEye on N64, do it. It's not the same playing it through a Nintendo Switch. Fire up the N64 and do it right. And show your kids how to play video games because they're fun. That's got me amped up. How about you, sir?
Right by the Game Boy. So Sega Streets of Rage 2 on Sega Genesis is my all-time favorite video game ever.
Which game was this?
Streets of Rage 2.
Oh, that was a very, very good one. I like that.
Great one.
I am a super stereotypical 90s boy in that my favorite video game of all time is Final Fantasy VII. And I haven't played the remake yet. I'm sure I will when I get the best thing I have other than the Switches is a PS3. So I got nothing to play it on yet, and I'm not in a rush because I just unlocked my PS3 again, so I'm fine. But yeah, man.
As far as side-scrolling beat 'em up button mashers go, Streets of Rage 2 is the cream of the crop.
Street Fighter 2 is good. I like Street Fighter 2. Or Final Fight? No, damn it, I forget now. Double Dragons was a good one. Double Dragons was a good time.
No Streets of Rage 2.
You are correct. You are correct. Having said that, Daniel, what has you amped up?
Well, Christmas and Christmas radio.
Ooh, Christmas radio. I could talk for hours, please.
Well, this is your part of the problem, my friend.
How dare you?
Those markets, those platforms that switch from whatever they do to all Christmas for the day of Thanksgiving until December 26th. Now, the one here in Philadelphia has elongated theirs to New Year's Day. That's only a couple years old. It used to be 26th. Boom, went back into. They would mix Christmas songs, so it went back into whatever their regular formatted station was. Now they elongated to Christmas Day, but that draw drops, that ball drops, that ball drops at 12 o'clock on midnight, and it goes from oh by gosh, by golly to paranoia, everyone's coming to get me, and it drives me insane.
No one has ever been upset at 12:01 on New Year's morning listening to Harvey Danger. Okay, so I'm just saying I found the flaw, but I understand what you're saying. I do, but here's my counter argument: if it is the year 2024 and your delivery method for music at any given moment is the radio, something went wrong.
I love the radio.
Really? So here's
I'm a big radio guy.
Here's where I can feel snooty. Of all of the streaming services, I think I've said this before, of all the streaming services that I spend money on, the one that I could not live without, and you're going to hate it, but it's Apple Music. I could not live without Apple Music. The ability to just put on any song I want. They have a very good AI curated, like I could put on the Christmas channel at any time I want and just enjoy. So for me, I can still let those Christmas carols go for the 12 days. I won't because I am the consumer that is part of the problem, but I could.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I do too. I use Pandora because it is what my car connects to.
Sure.
I have my few curated Christmas lists. I have the lead up to Christmas. I have a solstice list. I have a Christmas party list. I have a Christmas Eve list. Like they're all different moods, all different Christmassy type songs. And I do let them play. But I'm a big terrestrial radio guy, man. There's something classic about radio.
Oh, I know. You like having access to Sesame Street. You enjoy having Charlie Brown on CBS or PBS rather. You're here to still keep some of that old nostalgic media alive. And you know what, dude? I'm here for it. I am. We still listen to talk radio. That's what got us into what we do. So I appreciate that. But
right
again,
and how much do we laud Scott Fransky for his calls? Because there's nothing more magical than a baseball radio call. Like radio is very romantic.
Very romantic. You know what one of my most unexpected favorite radio experiences was? It was the South African World Cup. Like I don't know, like 2005, 6, somewhere in that era. But it was the South African World Cup. The Vuvuzelas won, and ESPN had it. So ESPN Radio had it. I was working for the census, so I was driving around all day, every day, and like that was a phenomenal way to consume soccer on the radio. That was awesome. So I do love radio for sports. That's a great point. Anything you can get on radio, you can get digitally, and well, no, not vice versa, but yeah.
Right.
So
I hear you.
Welcome to the 21st century.
All right, cool.
Oh.
Media stables, man. What do you got?
Media stables. So I guess my big question was, and if you went with a different media stables, by all means, please. Like, just what fills and non-fills stuff have you been reading or listening to in the off season? Did you go with that, or did you go with your own?
No, I went with that.
Sweet. So what have you been up to, Danny?
Nothing.
Come on, you've been watching stuff, listening to stuff. What? So you've been listening to Crossed Up and High Hopes and all that jazz, I imagine.
Sure.
Okay. Why? Why are you giving me nothing to work with right now?
It's been a year. I haven't done it in a while. No,
you haven't
honestly,
done it since last year.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It took them long enough.
Took me to the hour mark, but I did it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. No, I actually I did that thing where I got fed up with the projected this deal has this guy landing here stuff, and I just threw my hands up, and also the election fried my brain. I unsubscribed to just about freaking everything, and I've been just watching cooking videos for the last like 2.5 months.
That's amazing. I love that for you.
And like missing 411 stuff. Like that's what I've been doing.
I like it. Yeah. I have not consumed really any Phillies content. I listened to one episode of High Hopes, which was a Jack Fritz exclusive that you told me about. It was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it was.
A great
he was great. They sounded like us.
We were going to do a show that week, folks, and then this episode drops, and we listened to it. We're like, well, I guess we don't need to have a show anymore. This is exactly what we were going to say. So, Jack, the floor is yours. Way to be prompt.
He
but
nailed
yeah,
it,
other than
right?
that, he really did. I had no reason to put my 2 cents out there because my 2 cents were already out there.
I'm right there with you. Hey, Jack did our show and did it better than us.
It was amazing. Mazel tov. So I got into the Office Ladies podcast, Angela and Jenna Fisher doing that one. And while doing that, I did a massive Office rewatch, which was delightful. It was the super fan episodes available on Peacock. To anyone with Peacock, I highly recommend it.
Best cold open in the game, second to us.
Yes, I will agree to that. Yes. Kevin's chili is all you need to know about life. Or It Gets Better. You know what? We could go for hours. Fake Jim. Anyways. And now I've moved on to Breaking Bad. Very different tenors. But yeah, I've kind of unplugged. I agree. Yes, election fried my brain unbelievably. So really just wanted to unplug from the earth. Kind of hate social media. It's good for sharing the holiday pictures and seeing other people's adorable families, but opinions and mouthpieces, no thank you. Football, I don't know where, but somewhere along the line, football just lost its luster. It happens and I'm aware of it. And like I watch games, but it just doesn't, it's not romantic the way it once was, and definitely not the way baseball is. So
because we're baseball men.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's just a classier sport. Whatever. It's neither here nor there. Go Phils or go Eagles. Like I am enjoying the Eagles. I wish Saquon had a chance at Eric Dickerson's record, but in pure football fashion, we're not going to get what we want as the consumer, and that's wonderfully football. But yeah, dude, I've been enjoying the old media, and I watched the movie Three Ninjas, Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum.
Yeah. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily. It's all I remember.
That is all everyone remembers. That is not like everyone at least remembers Rocky Loves Emily. There are other folks that have much better knowledge. The fact that they were playing Super Mario 3 with the Nintendo Gamer Glove, which no one has ever done. That's a terrible way to play Super Nintendo 3. The fact that you could get onto the top bunk using a workout trampoline. The fact that they thwarted 3 robbers. It was the craziest mix of Die Hard and Home Alone that I've ever. It's the weirdest balance in between those two movies that I've ever seen. The absolute lunatic martial arts guy. I gotta tell you, at 37 years old, the plot doesn't make any more sense now than it did as a kid, but the jokes still land.
Nice.
The jokes still land.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. It's been delightful. Just delightful.
Yeah. I really like unplug, man. Watch cooking videos.
I love that for you. Have you tried anything that you've watched, or are you just like a window shopper on these cooking videos?
Oh, window shopper.
You never try to make any of it?
No, it's more like honing your skills, like, okay.
But you're not honing any skills because you're not trying anything.
No, I mean, I don't try the recipes as they are being shown, but if I am making something that night or for a get together or whatever, I'm incorporating the lessons learned.
Okay. Another shout out to Miss Kara. One of the things that she does that I love is she will also watch these cooking videos or life hacks or like just organizational whatevers, and she'll really push us to try them. And it has opened me up to so many delightful meals and just hacks and all those things. So
nice.
I'm a big fan that you've been enjoying those cooking shows and unplugging. Unplugging is so important. It's been delightful. Also, shameful plug. Are you going to go? What are your thoughts on Wicked?
No thoughts. Kim's got very
Wicked fever? Or
big, no, big, like. So her thing is she doesn't want to see Wicked because she doesn't want to condone Ariana Grande's eating disorder.
Wow. Okay, that is a take.
Yeah.
I will say I'm very confused by why both of the lead characters are so unbelievably skinny. It is startling. I don't understand what's going on there, but it is startling.
Right. Yeah. Kim has been taking up this crusade of listen, I get it. Don't body shame people, but also like we can't accept or normalize this. Like she is unhealthy. And I'm like, yeah, no, she is.
It does feel like an uncomfortable level of thinness, and like I do worry like about health. Like that does seem unnatural. So yeah, I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know what
know
that is,
either. I
but
don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but also, you know me, I'm not that kind of guy. Wicked wouldn't appeal to me.
it would not. No, I do know that. I will say it was a phenomenal movie. It was wonderful. So
I'm
to anyone out there that is okay with all the rest of the jazz, go check out the movie that is just phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I'm sure
So
it was done very well.
Gladiator 2, pretty meh. If you like the first Gladiator, just watch this one. It's kind of the same thing, just with worse CGI. Again, I think I said this on one of the After Dark episodes.
Yeah,
I
sure.
may have. Danny,
Yeah,
last
Twilight
topic.
Saga's on Hulu, everyone. So
Oh,
going up.
get your commercial viewing ready because no one pays for Hulu without commercials. Let's be honest. Let me ask you a question. Do you love it or do you hate it? Snow.
I love it. How do you not love it?
Because I work.
So do I.
I know you do, but I don't know, man. I think we might have more hills. But you travel all over. I hate driving in the snow. I hate driving around people in central Pennsylvania in the snow. I have street only parking.
Oh,
And
so
I
same
live
here.
on two different hills. So it is always an adventure to see just how your car will die this time around. My cars have been hit at every spot I have parked in a 2-block radius just over the 12 years. So I love perfectly fallen snow. I love snow when I have nowhere to go. I love snow. Well, I kind of hate that ever since the pandemic, there's no more snow days at work. You just work remote. So that's kind of a
Yeah.
bummer for both kids and adults.
Yeah, it
So
is a bummer.
the magicality of snow days are over. So and I know there are plenty of essential workers and retail workers that don't have that option. I worked at a gas station for 7 years. Like snow days were not a thing. We were 24 hours. So I feel that. But I don't know, like when it's falling, when I don't have to go out in it, I love it. I love sledding. I love all that jazz. I love unencumbered snow that is like mounded up like 3 feet when or 18 inches overnight and no one's walked on it yet. Ah, I love it when the town is just blanketed. That's the best.
So I have a story because you said you worked at a gas station that I think you'll appreciate because I appreciated the hell out of this dude. Kim and I were in Yosemite, and they have a gas station at the entrance of the park, inside the park. And we woke up early in the morning because we're tent camping in Yosemite. And we hit the gas station like right when it opened. And there is this young teenage dude that's working in there, and he's just got Paramore blasting to his goes to 11, and it's like 7 in the morning. And I walk in to get a cup of coffee and wash my hands because we were going to hit the road and head back into San Francisco. And I just go, "Hey, man, good morning. How are you doing?" And he looks at me and just shrugs his shoulders and says, gas station. And I just cracked up. I walked out. I told Kim about it. I was like, whoever that dude is in there, I love that guy. I asked him how he's doing, and he said, gas station. And I was like, I hear you, man. That dude was the coolest dude ever.
That's amazing. So were you ever one of the people that hung out at Harold Sunoco in high school?
When Adam worked there, I would pop in all the time.
Well, for sure. We all would. And we won't explain why. We will not explain why. Okay? But I also worked at that's the Sunoco I worked at for 7 years. So, like, yes, there is a certain, it's like you watch Clerks and then you live Clerks and then you watch Clerks again. And you're like, huh, that's fair enough. Yeah, good times.
How you doing? Gas station.
Gas station. I think folks out there, I think that needs to be part of our vernacular. But Danny, call it 69 minutes on the dot. We did it. That is an episode of Quit Chasin 2025 in the banks. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good. Hey, everyone, thanks for listening. We will do better next time. We promise. And I hope to God that this bit ends this season. I have my doubts, but everyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant. said that weird. It's a plant.